You're pretty good at this. So you've noticed, Well, yes. Pool isn't really my strong suit, but Henrik might prove a more adequate challenger for you. He'll often bring his guests to the billiards room to discuss negotiations over a game. I'm usually a bit too busy with my work to get much practice in myself, though he does manage to drag me away from my office for a game or two from time to time. Well, he can be intimidating when you're on his bad side, but he is a gracious host. I think he'd find your bluntness charming. I know I do. No, you probably won't be meeting him on this visit. He's away on business this week. You'll have to wait a bit longer before you can challenge the Vampire Lord to a game yourself. And that's game. Congratulations, darling. I bet you can make yourself a quick buck off the others. They have a tendency to underestimate a human with a pretty face. I won't tell them you're actually good if you give me a cut of your winnings. Oh, believe me, some of the organization members are long overdue for an ego bruising. It's not disloyalty if it's for the good of the organization. And if that happens to make me some money, well, that's just smart business. So, are you up for a rematch? All right, let me rack up. Oh, hold that thought. Hello, Ava?
Hey, boss lady. We've got your guy.
I see. What's your ETA?
We're about 5 minutes out. I hope you can contain your excitement to see me until then.
I hope that jovial mood means things went smoothly.
Yeah, about that. I'll have to fill you in on some details when I get there.
All right. I'll meet you downstairs in 10. You're in charge until I get there. Well, I've got some good news for you, darling. My team has officially confirmed your report about Lucian Gray, which means you're a free human. I'll let the security team know you're free to leave the estate as you please. Yes, you can go home whenever you're ready. Well, the others have collected him, so I'll be meeting with them to question him about the matter we've been investigating. On that note, I suspect I'll be busy for a while taking care of all that. So, in case you aren't here by the time I get out, I want to thank you for your company this week. It's been a pleasure getting to know you these past few days. And while I'm sorry about the circumstances surrounding our meeting, I'm really glad we did. You're welcome. Your room is yours if you ever decide to take up the offer, but goodbye for now, darling. Oh, hi there. I wasn't expecting to see you again tonight. I thought you would have left for home by now. You want to know about the meeting with Lucian? It was educational, but before I divulge, does your presence in my office mean what I think it means? Well, what I think it means is that you have an answer for me about my offer. Am I correct? And you're absolutely positive that this is what you want? This isn't exactly an easy thing to take back once you say yes. That's great to hear. Welcome to the team. Sorry to disappoint, darling, but since a key part of keeping an underground operation is subtlety, we can't exactly give out company swag. I hope you'll accept your weight in falsified documents as a consolation prize in place of a t-shirt. Speaking of which, I'll have Diane get you some paperwork to fill out for your front job before you get up tomorrow. Now that you'll be working with me, you'll be privy to secrets whenever it's relevant to your position. Things that some of the others aren't authorized to know. Be sure to check in with me before disclosing anything to anyone. Yes, the situation with Lucian is one of the matters I'm handling very closely myself. You can expect to be kept informed on some of the particulars. Like I said before, it was educational. Gray's a slippery one, but not much of a threat to any of us, really. He used his telekinesis to knock some things in the path of the team I sent to collect him, but he ran out of juice pretty quickly. Oh, believe me, I made sure my team was diplomatic to start. I specifically sent Ava because I trusted her to make the necessary calls to get him in here. She's a smooth talker, and I know she's capable of handling more delicate matters without losing her composure. But when Gray saw someone with a vampire's aura approaching him at his club, he tried to make a run for the back door before we could ask nicely. If we didn't take him then, he would have ran to hide behind the skirts of his connections, the ones we wanted to get the jump on. Well, he was pretty terrified to start. I had to trance him to get the edge off his nerves a bit. It turns out he isn't actually a member of the gang Chase has been passing off payments to. Just another layer of smokescreen to put some distance between Chase and them. A glorified delivery boy, as it were. I have to say, hearing you refer to the org as a we has an unexpectedly pleasant ring to it. But to answer your question, it wasn't exactly easy to get that bit of information out of him. See, Gray owes them a lot of money. And any threat from our side didn't seem to matter, since he was in a bit of a rock and a hard place anyway. Well, it wasn't cheap. I had to promise to help him settle the debt with them, and protection once his dealings with us were exposed before he'd talk. The little faded mess makes up for his lack of magical prowess with a keen sense of self-preservation. According to him, his club was at risk of being shut down after being mandated to make some safety upgrades by the city. He lost a ton of revenue during those renovations, and as with all construction projects, it ended up being much more expensive than he had initially thought it would be. So when the loan sharks approached him offering help, he was just desperate enough to take them up on it. But back to the most important part, he gave me the name of the clan behind the attacks. Yes, you heard correctly. Clan. The Lennox clan, to be precise, which poses a seemingly endless list of questions to me. That crossed my mind too. I'm wondering if they thought that leaving bite marks on a body on our territory would allow us to track this back to them more easily. A bite would have almost certainly narrowed the list down from the start. Yes, they did have a pact with us. A fact that both enrages me and yet seems completely in character for them. I told Henrik that they couldn't be trusted to actually heed our agreement, but we had been on the cusp of a full-on turf war if we didn't negotiate. I was wondering the same thing. Gray confirmed that Chase was clueless about magic, As far as he knew, the Lennox clan was just a connected family in the mundane underworld. That also leaves me confused. It's not like Chase was a particularly competent guy. I mean, not any more than a faded or fey money launderer might have been. So why work with a mundane at all? Exactly. So that leaves us with more questions to answer. Hey, it's really late, and unlike myself, you actually need to sleep. I've got some thinking to do about this. Why don't you get some rest and we can bring this back to the table tomorrow? After we get through your first day of training you on the ins and outs of your new role, that is. Good night, darling.